The streaming is started.
I don't see it on my phone yet, but...
こんばんは。Can you hear me? Is the BGM and my voice is okay?
Can't hear you coming through YouTube.
Thank you. Yeah, everything is okay. So let's start. Today we have a guest speaker, first time, from London. His name is Dan. He worked for me as an assistant when I went to Hyper Japan. And please introduce yourself, Dan.
Hello everyone, I'm Dan Byron. As Arita sensei said, I worked with him at Hyper Japan in London in 2019 as his assistant. It was such a brilliant weekend. We had a great time. I'm also a comic artist. You can find me on Instagram, Bad Egg Comic, and I also sell manga artwork at Manga Originals. And just a huge fan of Arita's, a huge fan of Berserk. So we thought it would be a good idea to do a stream together.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
And today's subject is my work for Berserk, the movie. And Dan will talk about Miura-sensei tribute.
Yeah, I've prepared a little bit of a slideshow, so I'll do that now and talk a bit about Miura, who sadly passed away on the 6th of May.
Yeah, it's sad.
Very, absolutely tragic. So, here's the man himself. May he rest in peace. So, he was born in 1966, and from about the age of 10, he started creating manga to show his classmates and things, and I guess he just kept on with it, because at the age of 19 he had his first published manga, which is this is Futatabi. Before today I didn't even know this existed, so I couldn't tell you what it's about, but it looks interesting. I really want to read it. He also had another one released in the same year, 85, which was Noah. Both of these got him recognition. And then in 1988, he created the Berserk prototype, which is a bit different to the Berserk we have now. Guts has an eye patch in it, and it's sort of a slightly different art style than what he went with eventually. Next, he did The King of Wolves, which was in 1989, just before Berserk started being published. And this is kind of, in modern standards, I'd say it's an isekai manga, because it's about a student who gets sent back in time and he ends up killing Genghis Khan and becoming the new Genghis Khan. So here's a shot with him bowing before Genghis Khan before their sort of ultimate battle later in the manga. Then obviously later on in 89, he started publishing Berserk, the series we love, and ran right up to his death, and sadly, I suppose, will remain unfinished. But as well as while he was drawing Berserk, he drew this, which is the sequel to King of Wolves. And I should mention as well, King of Wolves was written by Boron-san, who is the author of Fist of the North Star, so it's quite interesting that him and Miura worked together. Also, another one he did with Boron-san is Japan, which is another sort of isekai, old-fashioned isekai, about a yakuza who travels back in time and ends up becoming a warlord. Here's the man himself. Really cool character design in that series. You can get it in English, so I'd urge people to track it down. It's great. I selected a few really beautiful Berserk shots as well, because he just continued to draw Berserk, right from 89 up till now. Here's a fantastic shot of Zod flying over a forest. Guts himself during the Troll arc, which is one of my favourite arcs in Berserk. this is more recent. This is when their party arrives in Elfheim in the sort of more recent volumes. I'm sorry if this is spoilers for anyone who doesn't read Berserk,
Oh,
but
sorry.
hopefully this will convince you to read Berserk. It's just so beautiful. Some things from recent chapters. There's the Skull Knight, which I'll talk about with Arita a bit later, because you had some involvement in the movie with the Skull Knight, didn't you? Especially his horse.
Yeah.
Then we've got the first game came out in 1999 for the Sega Dreamcast. I think this was my introduction to Berserk. I think I played this game and then started to buy the manga when it was released in English, which was a few years after that. In 2002, he won a very prestigious award. It was the Osamu Tezuka Cultural Prize, and he was awarded for excellence. Just, to be recognized on that level is, well, it's what he deserved, basically. So that happened for him in 2002. Not long after that, in 2004, we got the PS2 game, which I really love. Fantastic game. Arita Sensei might recognize these. In 2012 and 13, we got the Golden Age Trilogy, which
Yeah, I did. I worked on the composition for first one and the second one. Last one was, I don't know, somebody did.
Oh, really? Well, that's their mistake. They should correct you. Then we had Gigantomachia, which I believe he took a short break from Berserk to draw this. This was in 2013, and from what I read in an interview, he sort of used this manga to teach himself to draw digitally. So when he came back to Berserk after this series, it was completely digital, which I think's about volume 37 or 38 onwards in Berserk. Here's a picture from Gigantomachia. It's a really cool character who's a wrestler who just sort of wrestles aliens and ends up turning into a giant that wrestles giant aliens. Pretty good. After that, then we had the 2016 anime series, which maybe isn't very well received amongst the fans, but it's still quite interesting to see any adaptation of Berserk. The PS4 game is the most recent game that we had, which is similar to the Dynasty Warriors games. That was great. And then Berserk got its first novelization, which was in, I believe this was 2017. Really good. And Miura-sensei also did lots of illustrations for this novel, like that. Just fantastic work as always. So here is Miura's studio picture that I found. And if we look on the wall over this side, we can see some unused designs for Duranki. And also this black and white piece of Guts is actually by Tetsuo Hara, who's the author of Fist of the North Star. He drew this tribute, I believe, perhaps for Berserk's 30th anniversary. It was published in Young Animal. Here is Studio Gaga, which is Miura-sensei's assistants, who then went on to draw Duranki, which is totally drawn by his assistants, but with his guidance. So I think he was sort of training his assistants to help him a bit more with Berserk later on. And it's absolutely beautiful looking manga. I guess Miura's skills have passed down to them quite well. Then this is one of the most recent volumes released in English of Berserk. And then here's an image from the final chapter of Berserk, which I think we had at the beginning of this year. This was chapter 362.
Oh,
so
okay.
whether or not there's a 363, I don't know. A very interesting piece of art there.
Yeah, impressive.
And here, by Arita Sensei himself, when I worked with you, I took full advantage of you and commissioned you to draw some Berserk artwork for me. This fantastic Guts you did. I got 4. They're fantastic. They're on the shelf behind me. You might spot them in a moment. The Skull Knight, Griffith. That's probably my favourite of them. It's so good. And Zod. Did you enjoy drawing these?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. They're fantastic.
Yes.
I remember I
Yeah.
draw this one. It was just brilliant. And here's a big piece of fan art by a friend of mine. You can find him Damien Sketches on Instagram and Twitch. I think he's planning to draw a piece with Griffith tomorrow. And one more piece of fan art by my friend Dina in Colorado. You can find her Lady GG Art on Twitter. I'll put these links in the chat so people can check them out if they want to. So yeah, that's what I've got for you. Come back to the meet and stop sharing. There's yeah, sadly, who knows if we'll get any more Berserk, but we've lost probably one of the best manga authors of modern times.
Yeah,
Really sad.
I also heard he intended to the story will be happy end.
Yeah, that made me quite curious. I never thought it would be a real happy ending. Maybe like bittersweet, but
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll ever find out. Perhaps they'll just release his note, or his staff will carry on the manga. I don't know.
No, I can't see his YouTube display. I'm looking for the reference for today's drawing.
Mhm.
Is there somebody who has question for Dan
Yeah, let's have a
about
look.
Miura-sensei? There was many new things that I know. I've never known Miura-sensei did so or many comics.
Neither did I till I researched, and I really want to read them all now. Don't have any questions. One thing I wanted to ask our audience, like, what's your favorite story arc in Berserk, and also who are your favorite good characters and who are your favorite bad characters? Because all the characters are so well fleshed out and well realized.
Yeah.
That you've got your favorites.
It's difficult to say, but can I say Scarlet Knight is a bad character?
I don't know. You're not quite sure, are you? He's mysterious.
Yeah.
Is he on the good guy's side? But it seems like he might, willingly sort of sacrifice guts or something to get what he wants. He's just out for revenge. It's not quite sure if good or bad fully. But he's definitely one of the coolest characters in the series.
Yeah. I love him.
Oh, fantastic. So, yeah, what I was going to ask you is you designed the armor for his horse for the Golden Age trilogy, right?
Yes. I designed the Scarlet Knight's horse armor. Yeah.
That must be quite tricky because you don't really have full reference to work with. We've only seen his horse a few times, so I don't think we've ever seen full armor. So there must have been parts where you used your imagination to think what would this part of the armor look like, and
so I'll explain how I involved to
yeah, we should start
Berserk
there.
movie. At first I did これかな? Sorry, I'll change the setting. In the area of my career, I worked on many of interior illustration for books, and this is one of that, and that was called Arms and Armors, and that the book has many illustration, many pencil drawing by me, like these.
Fantastic. So it was all sorts of different armors from different militaries all over the world, different time periods.
Yes, from ancient to medieval. Maybe you feel used to see in Miura-sensei's manga these armors.
I mean, the you just showed look kind of like the Kushan army, who are kind of sort of like a Middle Eastern army that invades Midland at some point in the story. And the war elephant, there's war elephants in Berserk during that part of the storyline too. Absolutely fantastic. So, as I understand, Miura-sensei actually used this book as reference quite regularly.
Yeah. And I heard when he heard I will involve to the animation film, he said, I'm happy.
Yeah. How flattering is that? Oh, that's definitely a Kushan warrior right there.
Yeah.
Well, you saw the picture of his desk, so just imagine him sitting there reading.
Yeah, and after that, the planner of the Final Fantasy XI invited me to work for them.
Yeah.
He's なんだっけな。He's enthusiast for arms and armors, real arms and armors. So he thought I can draw more realistic armor for them. And I worked for them for 11 years, and I had exhibition at his at Square Enix
Yeah.
official cafe and store Altonia in Shinjuku.
Right. Yeah, I've seen some of the art you did for it. Look at that. Spectacular. Amazing.
After that, I worked on Final Fantasy XIV. And between that, I the planner invited to do observer for Berserk movie. And when he said, when he asked them, the studio asked to them, is there somebody who can draw the world that you observed? And he answered to them, there's a person who can draw my image. So I invited to work for Berserk movie. And here's one of my drawing for them. And this is this is a mid-range array, and here is Griffith's Dreaming Cats.
Yeah, the castle that Griffith would stare at as a child.
Yeah.
This
one is quite small. I can't see that. All of them is small.
So you were telling me something earlier. Just how many buildings do you think you drew for reference for the Berserk staff? It's quite a lot.
Yeah. Also, I don't know how many, but I spent 1 month for this piece because I have to research before I draw. So there's many information in this
absolutely.
picture.
I mean, no two houses are the same, are they? They were all sort of makeshift build. It's totally different design for every house.
あれ出てこない。I don't know how to say in English, but this part will be open.
Like a window shutter or something?
Yeah, open like this. And the merchants display their stuffs on here, and this will be the roof. Can you see that?
Is that like a table? Yeah, I can see that. Fascinating.
Yeah, right, like this.
Yeah.
And
so much thought gone into this.
And it's not clear, but here is a なんて言うんだろう。wall house? I don't know how to say. Warehouse?
Oh, a well house, yeah.
Yeah. I've never known because I don't know. In Japan, we have the house like this. この下の部分に井戸があって、この上に屋根がついてます。っていうのが資料にあったので、そういうふうに書きました。Also the building has a structure. Top part is extruded from the wall. Can you understand what I mean?
Yeah. It doesn't look like a safe way to build a house, really, does it?
Yeah, but I read there's a reason because carpenter in Western wouldn't care about how much bent the wood.
Okay.
So they think upper part will be pushed here. So they don't care how much bent the wood.
God, I wonder how
That is the idea.
It's not great. Next time you're in England, I'll have to take you to Windsor. We actually have some streets that look like this in a
yeah.
castle.
Good yeah. I'll explain in Japanese. この木がどのぐらい反ってるかっていうのを気にするっていうことを考えたくないから、この上に乗ってる構造で、この梁を押さえつけちゃうっていう。そうすればいいでしょっていう風な考え方で、でもこれ時間が経つとね、こうね、倒れてくるんですよ。Yeah, but this structure has a critical point. The building will be bent to the street.
Yeah.
After many years. So sometimes we can see the building has arch between them.
I suppose the older the building, the more it
yeah
to the street.
Yeah, because they are run to each other.
Right. I wonder if any buildings ended up touching just to create an archway. Fascinating. And
そういうことをね、いろいろ調べたんです。Sorry?
How did you research this? Do you have a time machine or?
No. I went to library and found a book about structure of the Western buildings.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Also, this building had chimney.
Yeah. So you were telling
this one has chimney. This one has chimney.
Yeah, so you were telling me something quite funny earlier about chimneys. When you went to see the Berserk Golden Age movie, you noticed something on the design of the houses, didn't you?
Yeah.
That there were no chimneys. So somehow the CG artists, you don't have chimneys on traditional Japanese houses. They just forgot to put chimneys on there. So if you go back and watch the Golden Age movies, you'll notice something that probably Arita Sensei is the only person to notice so far. There's just no chimneys on any of the buildings in the Golden Age movies.
Yeah, in Japan, we don't have chimney at the top of the roof. We have ventilation hole out here. And the fireplace is center of the living and how to say? Something like kitchen or some kitchen.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. On the direct on the ground. So we don't have chimney usually. Also the smoke is なんだろうな how to say? The bugs doesn't like smokes. Yeah, that's why we don't have chimney.
Oh, it's good. Keep insects out of the house as well.
Yes.
Right. But at the same time, probably not great.
yeah, that is everything I have today.
Very cool.
And yeah, the person who did planner in Square Enix invited to as an observer for Berserk movie. He has good knowledge about medieval. So maybe some people know about this, Final Fantasy XI had introduced many unknown kind of arms and armors. Yeah, that have quite unique equipment. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's a really interesting mix of styles in Final Fantasy XI. You have sort of the mystic magical element, and the medieval design of some armor is very much grounded in reality, at least like Western inspired armor and stuff. But then you also have chocobos, so it's not totally based in reality. So we've got a couple of comments, well, maybe sort of a question. So we got Hotaflang, I hope I pronounced that correct. He said, any idea if any of Miura's assistants knew how Berserk would end? And that's the question we're probably all thinking, aren't we? Like maybe his editors knew, or maybe he has a notepad stashed away somewhere. I don't know if we'll ever find out. If, you know, perhaps his assistants.
Yeah, I don't know. But my personal opinion, I would like to read that as a novel or something.
That would be interesting. Perhaps the person who wrote the Flame Knight novel will be, you know, commissioned to make a continuation, or we don't know what will happen. There is the Berserk exhibition is planned to happen in Japan in September, I believe. It was supposed to happen earlier this year, but that's been moved back to September. So I guess that will still go ahead. So anyway, should we move on?
Here's a message from Japanese audience. Your background is very good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I built it with a shrine. So this is my normal bookshelves behind here, but I got all the Berserk stuff I could find and put it on my shelves. So these are the shikishi that I commissioned from Arita sensei. I've got, I don't think you get these in Japan, that we get these deluxe edition Berserk, like these huge editions of Berserk. Just, it's amazing to see the artwork blown up you know, to that scale. Just incredible. So yeah, thank you for noticing. I've got I just put all my Berserk stuff behind me. I thought it would be fitting.
Yeah, I have to start drawing. Also, before I start drawing, I'd like to introduce my store and the watercolor now auctioning. あれ出てんな。クリーンキャプチャーになってた。
Is this the first that you're auctioning off? This is for charity, right?
Yeah, for charity. This is a charity for Kids Helpline in Australia.
Brilliant cause.
Yeah, please bid.
Yeah,
but
how's
the prices. Current prices. I can't bid.
That's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I can't bid that anymore. Yeah, but if there's somebody, please bid to this piece.
Please beat that bid. It's all for charity. It's all for a good cause. So then this Venom piece, will this be the first piece you're auctioning off personally?
Yes. This will be starts in 9 days.
Okay. Fantastic piece. I absolutely love Venom. Such a brilliant
you also can see all the pieces that I finished in YouTube's live streaming. And all of these pieces will be auctioned piece by piece.
And how often will you do auctions? Perhaps one per week, or a longer space between them? What's your plan?
I'm not certain, but at the first, maybe 2 or 3 pieces will be each month.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not used to do those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that, maybe every 2 weeks, I will be auctioned. Yeah, all those things.
That's great. So everything you've done so far on YouTube live streams, that's all
Yes.
pretty much that is available.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to get a lot of interest. I mean, there's a couple of pieces there that I'm kind of interested in. Just, I don't know if I can afford $10,000 though, if the prices go that high.
Yeah, so what should talk next?
Wow, a long list of subjects. So people in the comments, please give us your favorite, arc from Berserk and your favorite characters. Personally, I'm a big Skull Knight fan too. And I also really like Shiroke, the young witch who joins Guts later on. I think she's an absolutely fascinating character. She's absolutely brilliant. So how long in total did you work on the Golden Age movies? You mentioned a month for that one piece of artwork, but
Yeah,
you told me
I'm
earlier
not sure,
you
but
1,000
but
buildings.
yeah, maybe I worked for them around 2 years.
Right. And when was that? I think it was like 2010 they announced that the films were being made. So I suppose
Yeah.
you were working on then. And it was 12 and 13 the films came out.
About the many buildings Dan had been mentioning is I was trying to draw whole of the Midland. Midland has how to say this wall outside of the resident area. And at first I defined how tall should it be the なんだっけ
You have the castle on the top.
Yeah, castle.
Yeah.
Because it should be a landmark of the town, of the city.
It's the centerpiece of the whole city, yeah.
So I made a なんて言うんだろうこれ丘 small mount? Mount でいいかな under the castle, and I made a wealthy people's resident area around here, and I made なんだっけな職人職人
Like the working class people next, I suppose, and the markets and things.
Craftsman.
Craftsman, okay.
Yeah, craftsman's area. まなみさん、こんにちは。
こんにちは。こんばんは。
Yeah, please introduce yourself. Yeah, let's wait.
Already?
Yes, we're online now. You're on YouTube.
Right. Hi, so I'm Manami. I'm from a company that organizes Hyper Japan, which is the largest Japanese culture event in the UK.
あれこっちに変えればいいのか。Okay.
Very nice.
Sorry. これだ。
Welcome to YouTube.
Yeah. So what have you been talking to each other?
I'm talking about Berserk because the author of Berserk.
Now I'm talking about how I drew the whole of the Midland.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So go back to the story about Midland. And then I defined how many houses should be here. And I researched about how many population is the maximum number of the city in middle age. And I forgot certain number, but 20万。20万ってなんていうの ?20,000? 200,000?
200,000, yeah.
200,000. Yeah, that has 200,000 people maximum. So I calculate if one house has 3 or 4 people, how many houses I should have in the city.
Oh God.
After that, I made a collage from the Google Maps blueprint and I tried to draw all the houses, but I couldn't finish. I finished maybe 2/3 of it.
Still a crazy amount.
Yeah, and this town has a port at here, and I made a 運河ってなんて言うんでしょう。Canal? Yeah. Canal. うん。で、そういう都市計画みたいなことをしながら作ったんです。
Okay. So he was trying to plan how the city should be built.
いや、ダンがね、ものすごいたくさんの建物を描いたっていう話をさっきからしてて、打ち合わせの時にこの話をしてたんですよ。
そうなんですね。
これはね、もうね、本当に0.3 とか 0.5 のシャーペンじゃないと書けないぐらいちっちゃく窓の数とかね、煙突とか一生懸命書いたんですけど、映画になったのを見たら煙突がなかったっていう話をさっきしてたんです。
Did you talk about how much details he was drawing?
Yeah.
Especially about the chimneys.
Yes.
Yeah.
The 3D editing. We've got the chimneys on all the buildings.
Yeah, as far as my research, chimney is the central of the house in Western world. Yeah, but Japanese house doesn't have chimney. I explained with this illustration, ventilation hole at the top of roof in Japan. Yeah. いや、それがね、唯一心残りだったところです。知ってれば煙突つけてって言えたんですけどね。
He didn't know the chimney was not going to be on the film.
No, yeah, he told me earlier that it was quite a surprise when he watched the film and he noticed there's no chimneys. But I said you're probably the only person that noticed that detail. But I'm going to have to watch the movies again now to look for myself and see that there's no chimneys anywhere. Well, now Manami's joined us. I've got a little slideshow about your time in England and working at Hyper Japan. So shall I put that on now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So
let me change. Okay.
Okay, I'll take me a moment to start sharing my screen. Actually, bring up my gallery again. So here we have Hyper Japan 2019, which sadly is the last time
this photo looks empty because that's probably from the build day, right?
Yeah, this is the Thursday where everyone comes in and sets up their fans.
Normally, like thousands of people come to the event, but
yeah,
this is Hyper Japan, and we have done this event in various different venues, but the latest one was in the Olympia London, and this is the Olympia London.
It's a great
Yeah.
そうだ、オリンピアだった。
It's so stately.
今、名前何だったかなと思って。Yeah. 由来があるんですか？ Now I'm asking why that called Olympia.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I think it
Oh,
was.
it's a sports
because
arena.
Oh, really?
No, I think
I
it
know
was
they have boxing
built as
events there and things.
exhibition hall, but yeah, I'm not sure. But it's quite an old building, right?
Mhm.
I think it's like 100 years old or something, or at least it looks like it.
Oh,
Looks like
really?
it is. Yeah, I think it is. It's quite an old place.
へ
So this is our setup day where, you know, we just wandered around a bit because we didn't have much to set up with you, Arita Sensei. We just had your table, find where we were based. And here's your table with some of your beautiful prints. Here's you setting up the table. And then we had the first of many trips to the pub. We went to the pub all the time.
Yeah, I went to pub
Whenever
every
we've
day.
gone to, pretty much we were there every day, weren't we? So I missed the Friday of Hyper Japan because that was the day my sister got married, which was fantastic. So I don't have any pictures from the Friday, but this is the Saturday where I worked with you. And here's you signing someone's amazing Final Fantasy t-shirt where he seems to have as much Final Fantasy staff as possible signed his shirt.
How he gathered these?
He said he traveled all over the world to different events anytime he knew that someone was going to be there. It's absolutely amazing. I'm sure any Final Fantasy fans are quite jealous of this item. That's and here you are. It's a very familiar card you're signing there. I had to take a picture. This is probably the Pokemon artwork you're known for the most. It's the Charizard. Here's you and me. That's a Shikishi that I commissioned from you, the first of the 4 that I showed earlier. And of course, we went to the pub. There's Damien, fantastic Spanish manga artist. You can find him Damien Sketches on Twitch and Instagram. And then the Sunday, more of the same. You're quite low on stock there. You seem to sell all of your books and things. It's you only had the prints left by the Sunday, so you sold an awful lot of stuff. You are signing this fantastic piece. What was this piece for? Is it just an original piece that you designed?
Yes, I drew that for advertisement for the なんだっけな、second Okara Comic Con. I think that was 1994 or 5, maybe.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So quite early in your career as an artist, then you created this piece.
あ、違う。Sorry. maybe 5 or 6 years ago. 2016?
Like 16 or something.
Yeah, maybe.
You jumped back in time 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the first time my attending for the overseas events.
Oh, okay. Where was that? Sorry.
Okara. I don't know how to how to say that.
In the States, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe almost center of the Florida. なんて言うんでしたっけ？半島。
What is the peninsula?
そう。Peninsula.
In the center of the peninsula, you mean?
Yeah. Center of the Florida Peninsula. Is that peninsula? わかんないけど。
Center of the state, perhaps. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Somewhere.
Center of the Florida.
Mm.
Center of the Florida. 2 hours by car from Orlando. オーランドは有名ですよね。
オランドは有名です。
はい。
ディズニーがあるところですね。
はい。
So 2 hours from Orlando.
And of course, we went to the pub again. There we are. There's Italian manga artist Elena Vitagliano and Damien again, both really talented artists sitting next to you. Another talented artist. And then you came to a meetup that I organised. We like to gather London artists, and you came along and blew everyone's mind with your small little watercolour pad that you carry around. You are showing it off. Just everyone's gathered round in awe of what you've painted in those books. They're absolutely amazing. You should probably publish those sometime, I think. You've got such good work in them.
Yeah.
As me captivated by a story you wrote. Yeah, and even more. And there you are with some other legends. That's Helen McCarthy. She's a really well-known author. She wrote the Osamu Tezuka biography, and she's written sort of like the anime encyclopedia, lots of big books. And Eleanor, the Italian artist again. And of course, we went to the pub. Yeah, with you. And then a couple of days later, Arita and I went to see my friend Paul Gravett, who's a fantastic author and curator, giving a talk about the history of manga, which was really interesting. And we also checked out the Naoki Urasawa exhibition. This was at Japan House in London. So just look, we spent a little while in there just checking out all of Urasawa's sketches and stuff. So you came to London at a good time. And there's the master watching the master, with Master Keaton behind you, actually. That's 3 masters in one picture. Here we are at the pub again, where you're finishing off a Guts artwork for me, or signing it. There you are with some Pokemon cards you signed for me and my friend Jimmy on the day. And then before you went home, we had one last pub trip a couple of days after that. And that was it.
I missed it.
And there's Hyper Japan, where it's bustling away. And here's a picture of where you spoke on stage at Hyper Japan as well, with the crowd in the background. And I think that's the whole lot. That was your week in England. Well, the week that I spent with you anyway. I know you went to the British Museum a lot, didn't you?
Yeah, I spent all the time for British Museum.
Yeah, good idea. Take advantage of it while you're in the UK.
あれよいしょ。あ、違う。出た。
What other comments have we got?
ハイパージャパンの紹介もします？
ハイパージャパンの紹介は、そうですね。何しましょう。ハイパーの紹介。Hyper Japan. So we started this event in 2010, and each year we held this event in July, sometimes in...
So you dropped the anniversary, 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
Because of...
Yeah.
Because of COVID-19.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the last event we had was in 2019 when Arita sensei came. So last year we couldn't have the events, but then this year we are organizing the online events, online Hyper Japan Festival. So we're gonna have a lot of like workshops, live streams, like lectures, all online. So that's
is it Hyper Japan official on Instagram? People can find it, or hyperjapan.co.uk.
Yeah. If you go to our website, which is hyperjapan.co.uk, you should be able to see the Hyper Japan online like banner, and if you click it, that's where the event is happening. And also,
it's good because now people all around the world can come to Hyper Japan without having to catch a plane. They can come and watch some live streams of concerts and join in on workshops.
Yeah, that's
good idea.
A very good way to distribute these good contents to the world.
Yeah, I also did a charity piece for Hyper Japan last year.
Yeah.
When last year?
I think that was last August. We did the live stream. Yeah.
Yeah, Arita sensei did a beautiful piece of COVID-19.
A very British piece, wasn't it? It was King Arthur and Robin Hood fighting COVID, and you could see Big Ben in the background.
Yeah, that was
a really cool piece of artwork.
Yeah.
I think that the live stream still online. If
Yeah.
people search YouTube,
Yeah.
Hyper Japan, Arita, they'll find it.
Mhm. Please send to me later. I will add the link in the description.
Yes, I'll do that now. I'll share that actually.
Can you find it?
Yes, I'll do that. Don't worry.
もうやっと絵を描き始めましたけど。ずっと喋ってて。
そうだね。
さすがに普通のスピードで喋ってると、集中してないと理解できないですよ。絵描きながらだと。
日本語でもそうですね。It's difficult for everyone to talk and draw at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's questions in Japanese you can spot, Manami, please ask them to Arita Sensei. And if you could translate them as well, that
そう、日本語だったら少し簡単な、少しというかだいぶ楽なので、日本語でだったら全然大丈夫ですけど。
The link of the YouTube because I'm on the Google Meet, so
Yeah, I'm posting it to YouTube now.
yeah.
ダンのためにガッツ書いてるときに、
はい。
伊藤武彦さんの絵とかとすごい似た感じがして。
なるほど。
あとね、無限の住人の人、沢村弘明だったかな。無限の住人ってなんて言うんだろう。
無限の住人。
Dan, do you know Immortal Swordman, Japanese manga?
Yes, Blade of the Immortal.
Yeah, Sawamura, Mr. Sawamura sensei. Do you know that?
Yes, I know the series. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. I'm talking about when I drew guts for you, I thought I feel familiar with なんだっけ竹彦井上先生 and Sawamura sensei.
Yeah, I mean it's that hyper realistic manga artwork, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, those character has a skull.
Yeah.
Yeah, this character has certain skull. I also have the model like this.
Yeah.
I'm always using this as a reference when I draw. Especially it's very difficult if you draw the face from the angle like this. It's very difficult. You can't draw the face. You have to draw what you see. You can't draw face. I mean, most people thinking your face has eye and nose and mouth. 見える? Can you see this?
I think you might need to enlarge that part of your screen.
こっちにするか.
Me and Manami are huge at the moment on the YouTube stream, but yeah, sort of a face.
Yeah. Most people's understanding about face is like this. But if you want to draw from this angle, it's very difficult. You can't draw anything iconic parts of face.
Of course, like the scars are obscured and things,
Yeah.
but they're not all from these angles.
Yeah.
Right.
In those situations, the model like this will be very helpful for you. By the way, I like to draw from those angles. Yeah, because in the train, I'm always drawing, sketching on the train, and most people's face is from the angle like this, or like this, or like this. I can see straight from the face. So I'm familiar with to draw the angle from those angles. It's very difficult. eyebrow, even the eyebrow can't see. You can't see the whole eyebrow. You can't see only this part.
Brow would obscure
Yeah.
person's
Yeah, rest part will be hide in the hole, eye socket hole.
While you're sketching, we've got a question here from Steve Jackson. He says, Mr. Arita, do you ever sell sketches? I've seen the paintings to be auctioned for charity, but no sketches on your site. Do you think you'll do pencil sketches?
Usually I only do on my sketch journal, so I can't sell them because I have to tear from that. どこにあったかな
Yeah, you'd have to tear your sketchbook apart, I suppose. Yes, show us your sketchpad. Wow.
All of them is my fragment of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wouldn't separate them. But now
Take photos on my phone, but you paint things.
Yeah. But I have an idea. Recently I got the account on NFT Foundation, and I think I can sell those sketches on as NFT art,
I see.
crypto art.
Yeah.
How is the idea? This one is a building in Paris.
Wow.
Archive Nationals だって。
Archive National.
Oh, National Archive, I suppose. Yeah. I understood that.
When did you go
This
to
one
Paris?
is church.
When did you go to Paris again?
これは7月だから、前か後かどっちですか？
ハイパーの前。
ハイパーの前ですかね。
Just before or after Hyper Japan?
Yeah. For Japan, no, right? Was it?
Yeah, because I went Paris, before Paris. No. Before Hyper Japan, I went to Paris and attending to the Japan Expo in Paris. Yeah, that is one of the biggest event, biggest Japanese team event in Europe. And after that, I ride on the train. What was that? Eurostar.
Yeah. It's great, isn't it? Like an hour and a half, you're in London. Paris to London is like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I was surprised. I couldn't think. I didn't imagine I can go to Paris to London by plane. So I asked the organizers if I can use the airplane from Paris to London. But they said, "Oh, we have train."
Eurostar is amazing. You don't have to fly.
This is a sketch when I went to Taiwan.
Taiwanese tea?
Yes. これ見慣れないですよね。I think most people don't used to this thing. This is a tissue. Paper. Yeah, tissue です。ティッシュって何て言うんでしたっけ？英語だと何？
ティッシュ
ティッシュでいいんだよね。
はい。ティッシュってあれです。
そうです。紙のティッシュです。in China, there is a tissue wrapped like this.
Yeah, stack. Yeah.
so there's a thinner version like this, and you have to bring this when you go to restroom. Because all the restroom doesn't have the paper.
Take your own as a travel tip for
紙はないし、sometimes the restroom in China doesn't have door. ドアもなかったりします。
I guess the culture is different.
Yeah.
A little.
This is a sketch. Yes. これは9分っていうところで、9分って英語発音だとなんだっけね、わかんないですね。
わかんないですね。
This is a building that said reference of the building in Spirited Away. ユヤのモデルになったって言われてるやつです。
はい。So that's the building features in Spirited Away. で、お風呂のとこですよね。
そうです。This is mosque in 神戸。これは外国のモスクじゃないです。
神戸。
神戸。
Amazing.
で、あれだ。そう、博物館に通ったやつはこれですね。Here's my sketches when I went to London and Paris, and I spent almost all day to do sketching at museum, British Museum and Louvre.
The Louvre. We have a comment in here. A little message. This is from Legendaire Multigaming. A little message from a fan from France. Thank you for sharing your workflow and every day with us. You are fantastic.
Thank you.
It's nice to have your fans.
This is sketches from Starbucks in London.
Okay.
Starbucks. Between doing a commission for you, I went to Starbucks and sketching the people.
Yeah. I must have taken up a lot of your time with my 4 commissions. Taking time away from your British Museum visits. Oh, look at these. Incredible.
Yeah, it was very interesting to me to go to museum in London and Paris because London and Paris has a lot of stuffs from ancient to 現代 current age.
Yeah, well, we have stuff from Greece and Egypt, Assyrian stuff. British Museum's full of things.
Yeah. The exhibitions, the exhibition in Japan doesn't have whole things. If they plan Egypt theme exhibition, there's only Egypt, and Mesopotamia only Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
But British Museum and Louvre has everything, so I can see the gradually difference of each culture and age. Yeah, that was very interesting. So I spent most time to sketching those things to study the feeling of the age and culture. Those figures from Greece mythology, gods and goddess. North America.
It should be in the catalog or textbooks.
面白かったな。また行きたいな。
日本でも博物館とかは行きますか？
博物館は行っても、あん
り。
まりそのスケッチ自由じゃなかったりとかするじゃないですか。
あ
インクが出るようなものはダメだとか、いろいろありますよね。
あ、なるほど。I've just asked if he goes to any museums in Japan. Then he said in Japan, sometimes drawing, sketching isn't allowed.
Oh, that's
Or
a shame.
use of like pens are not allowed. So,
Right.
mm.
Because you see people at British Museum and the National Gallery, they just bring in an easel, they set up, and they'll just start painting. Like you're kind of allowed to do what you want. It's really free. Yeah, so you can take an easel into the British Museum and start copying paintings if you really want. But
Yeah, also it was funny. Many people touching the displayed stuff,
yeah,
and the
lots of people.
staff for the museum. Please don't touch.
Yeah.
And somebody coming again, the touch. Please don't touch. Just that.
Yeah, they have to have staff in nearly every room at the British Museum just telling people off all day.
そう。触っても触らないでねって言われるだけなんですよ。人によって腰掛けて写真撮ったりとかしてるんですよ。
なるほど。Some people are posing on the statue.
I think I'm guilty of that. I think I do have a photo where I have my arm around a sarcophagus, like my friend or something, and I probably got told off for that. Everyone does it. It's a bit cheeky. But...
これずっと喋ってると絵が終わらないです。
確かに。
絵が描き終わらないかもしれない。最近のロンドンの様子とかって、どんな感じですか？日本はね、全然ワクチンの話とかね、回ってこないような状況です、まだ。
そうですね。っていうか、私も今、東京におりますけども。
あ、そうなんですね。
そうなんですよ。
いつ戻られたんですか？
ですね。4月末に戻って隔離をして、今、3週間前ぐらいですかね。
隔離って2週間とかでした？
そうでした。隔離
結構厳しいですか？
そうですね。一応、いろいろ、アプリ入れたりとか、
はい。
位置情報を発信するアプリ入れたりとかして。
へえ。
はい。
じゃあその話も面白いので、みんなに説明してあげてください。
私の帰国の話ですか？帰国の話よりロンドンの話を、じゃあ、ロンドン。Have you been vaccinated yet?
Me? Yes, I've had my first vaccination just maybe a week and a half ago, 2 weeks.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I got a text saying come tomorrow, and I was like, okay. So yeah. What about you guys? Do you have it yet?
No, in Japan, I think just the medical, essential workers and people over 75.
Oh, okay.
Being vaccinated right now, but it's very hard to book a slot. So I think it's slowly going ahead, but still, a lot slower than the UK. UK people in their 30s are getting vaccinated right now. Yeah.
It just started. So I'm in my late 30s now, so I got to get mine first, I guess. I'm at the tail end of my 30s.
It's good that you got it.
Yeah, but it's going to be 11 weeks until my next one, so I think that's the maximum amount of time that you can have between the two.
Right. And pubs are open, right?
Pubs are open, yeah. I haven't been indoors to a pub yet.
パブは開いてんの？
So on the 12th of April, outdoor pubs started opening.
Yeah, you could sit outdoors.
テラス席だけ。
そうです。テラス席だけ OK で、on the 5th, 17th of May, the indoor seatings are allowed.
Yeah, it was just this week. So from Monday onwards, you can Monday just gone, you can go indoors at a restaurant and indoors at a pub. So my local pub at the top of my road is open again, but I haven't really seen many people in there yet.
Right.
And maybe people aren't totally confident to go yet. I'm not sure.
でもパブってあれですよね。なんか日本でいうスターバックスみたいな過ごし方してる人も結構いて、
ああ、そうですね。
ロンドンのパブって飲み屋というよりは、なんか喫茶店みたいにずっといる新聞開いてみたいな。
いますね。おじいさんとかも毎日多分行ってるんだろうなとかっていう人たちもいるし、日本の居酒屋とちょっと違いますよね。
違いますよね。
ご飯食べなくてもいいから、ずっとビール飲んでればいいみたいな。
はい。
I'm loving what you're drawing already. Got his nuts in his full cloak. Is that his cloak or his armor? It's a cloak, isn't it?
今日はもう喋りに専念しようと思って、あんまり本気で書く気がないんだけど。
いやいや。
I'm not so much serious today because I want to concentrate to hear what they saying. そう最近なんか、あれですよ、ズームミーティングで、外国の人とズームミーティングとかすることがあったりして、やっぱアメリカ人のフルスピードの英語とかになるともう聞いてるのが精一杯で、こっちから何か言うのを考える時間がなくて。
そうですよね。外国語でミーティング大変ですよね。
大変ですね。でも、多分8割か9割ぐらいは分かってるかなっていうふうに思えるぐらいまでになりましたけど、昔は頑張って聞いて半分ぐらいしかしっかりは分かってないっていう感じだったんで、ちょっとは成長したかなと思いますけど。
英語は独学だったんでしたっけ？
いや、もともとはマンツーマンの英語の先生、外国語のネイティブの先生で日本語全く喋れない人が文法も全部英語で教えるっていうやつで。その話もじゃあぜひしてください。あんまりしたことないんで。
そう。Dan, did you have you ever asked how Arita sensei learned English?
No, actually. Yeah. Is there a good story behind that?
Yeah, interesting. So, いつ頃ですか？
2004年です。It was 2004. And that was maybe 3 weeks before I went to a signing event as a official Pokemon card game event. As a side event of the official Pokemon card game event. And the first time I went to シカゴじゃないな、シアトル to do signing event since Wizards and Coast was selling Pokemon card game. Do you know the area of the Pokemon card game was distributed from Wizards and Coast?
Oh, I see.
Do you know?
I didn't realize.
And they invited me to do signing event to Seattle to 2000. And after that, I invited to Orlando to do signing event as well as an official event. And first time I went to Seattle, there was a huge fan of me. And he said to me, I want to be like you. And I came from Florida. Maybe I don't need to explain. This is North America. And Florida is around here and Seattle is here.
Yep.
Yeah, but that person said he came from Florida to Orlando to meet me, but I couldn't say to him anything because I could understand most of what he said, but there was no interpreter. We went with two other. I went with two other person, and there was only interpreter. So I didn't have interpreter at that time at that moment.
So
And
three of
he
you shared one interpreter.
yeah, and he brought me some souvenir from Disney なんだっけ Animal Kingdom CD from Animal Kingdom and something, and that was my regret for that time. So when I got inquiry to attending to the signing event in Florida 2004, I decided I will try to study English, and I will try to communicate with them directly. I spent yeah, but there was only 3 weeks. でね、2時間ぐらいずつ
Most of your life, your English is great.
で、I went to study English 2 hours every week, and I studied every day at home. Yeah, and at that time we don't have proper smartphone like today's. So I brought a small dictionary for travelers. Yeah, and try to communicate them. で、イベント終わった後ね、after the event, we had time to go anywhere. So I decided to go Las Vegas because my elder sister had been doing なんだっけ、travel agency like job.
Yeah.
And she said, I heard from all the other staffs, or the other なんだっけ、同僚ってなんて言うんですかね。
Colleagues?
Coworkers?
Co-worker?
Yeah, yeah. Many people suggested to her, you have to go Las Vegas じゃない。Grand Canyon at least once. And at that time I was very busy and I didn't have time to search anything. But just from the story from her, I decided I want to go to Las Vegas. But go back to the map. Here's Florida. Florida is here, and Las Vegas is around here.
Yeah. Like 5 hours by
Yeah. It's quite far, and there was no Asian traveling from Florida to Las Vegas.
Just you.
いや、フロリダからラスベガスに旅するアジア人なんかいないっていう感じで。で、その時はまだヒアリングが悪かったんで、いや、at that time my hearing skill was very low. So when I was waiting the boarding, I heard something from the staff. I went to ask, is that my order? No. I repeated that maybe 5 times. Yeah, the voice from the speaker was very noisy, and I couldn't hear anything. So I went to check every time when I hear from speaker.
good to be, cautious.
Yeah.
All these things inspired you to really polish up your English. You wanted to communicate with your fans and also just be able to understand what people were saying to you.
Yeah.
That must have been quite a confusing time when you were there and you couldn't really understand all the time.
He's very brave. Like, I wouldn't go to the stage if I cannot speak English. Yeah. Or travel from Florida to Las Vegas on my own.
でね、まだ面白い話あって、
はい。
there's another funny story when I went to Las Vegas. When I check into the hotel, I asked the front, can I reserve a bus, express bus to airport? Then he said, yes, but you should reserve that by yourself. Yeah, but my hearing skill was very low, so I couldn't understand clearly what's the person saying over the phone. Also, I never imagined there's a flight on 2 a.m. maybe 2 a.m. My flight was my flight's departure time was 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. But there's no airline in Japan has that departure time. So when I called to the reservation call to express bus, he said, AM or PM? So I answered to him, PM.
You just never.
Because I've never imagined. So.
Did you get to the airport late or early? Which was it?
Yeah. I got to the airport 1 p.m.
And had to wait 12 hours.
And I tried to check in. The staff said, your flight is already gone.
Oh, no. You missed it.
Yeah, but she said immediately, but you don't worry, we can prepare another flight. But it will be next day's same flight, so I have to wait in the airport building for 12 hours. Yeah, but I didn't have experience and I couldn't speak English so well at that time. So I was very scary. So I didn't go out to airport. And yeah, I just spent time at the airport.
You must
怖くて出れなかった。
What did you do for 12 hours in the airport?
I went to cafeteria and just drinking coffee.
Yeah, like 10 coffee or something.
Yeah. And after that, I went to the corner of the airport and just sitting and watching the people. 今だったらそんなことできます？翌日の便で大丈夫みたいな、簡単に行かなかったりしません？アメリカ。そうか、アメリカだからわからないか。
そうですね。
アメリカもなんか911以降、なんかその辺の事情結構厳しくなったみたいで。
なるほど。お金払ったんですか？
お金もいらなかったですね。
So he got the next day's flight for free.
Oh, that's okay then. That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. Also, I was asking to her, can I do the same today? Because after 911, the United States security had been
Yeah.
strict more than before.
So if the situation is the same, if we will be offered flights next day or later.
でもめっちゃ焦りましたよ。
Yeah.
経験もないし、もう、行っちゃったよって言われた瞬間に、いくらいるんだろうって思いましたけど、すぐに大丈夫って言ってくれて、すごい安心しましたけど。
よかったですね。
うん。
そうか。そんなトラブルもあったんですね。
そうですね。もうトラブルばっかりですよ。Yeah, I'm always having trouble when I went to travel. So, but most people say, I'm jealous you. I want to go to another country like you. Yeah, but in the reality, I'm always having trouble. Travel. No, trouble.
Yeah.
Travel. いや、本当怖いことばっかりですよね。この間、ロンドン行った時も、まなみさんと話してたんですけど、
はい。
英語読めても違う国だと、同じ看板出てても同じ意味にとっても、なんかちょっと予想のつかないこととか普通にあるじゃないですか。
ああ、なるほど。
同じ言葉で説明してあっても、なんか、
そう、確かに。
実際使おうとしたりやろうとしたりしてみると、なんか、そんな風なのみたいなこと結構多くて。
ヨーロッパだけでも結構違いますよね。
そうですよね。特に電車。パリの電車がよくわかんなくて。
パリの電車、地下鉄ですか？メトロ？
はい。パリのメトロとかよくわかんなくて。
He found it difficult to understand like the cultural difference between the UK and Europe or anywhere in Europe.
それもね、面白い話ありますよ。I have another funny story. When I went to Italy, I was take a train to go to Venice from Milano. And I had to do なんていうの、exchange じゃないな。何でしたっけ？Transit?
You had to change the train?
Yeah, change the train. I had to change the train at that time, and I was waiting the train, but the train wasn't come so soon. And in Italy, the announce is almost Italian.
Italian.
Maybe 5-1 is English, others are Italian. ほとんどイタリア語。で、その英語のアナウンスがかかるたんびに、今度自分の電車来るのかなと思って、さっきのと同じような状況ですけど。
毎回聞き
じゃあ、毎回聞きに行くんじゃなくて、今度はこの電車かなと思って見に行くんだけど、わからんっていう。Yeah, every time I hear something English announcement, I check the train, but every train is not for me.
Right.
でね、びっくりしたのが、他の電車が自分が乗るはずの電車を追い越してるんですよ。
なるほど。
Yeah, other trains came earlier the train that I want to take.
How long were you waiting?
でも日本だとあんまりないですよね。っていうか僕が住んでるとこだからかな。
Yeah,
it was unusual for me because I never experience that situation. Usually if a train will be late, the other trains will wait after that.
Yeah.
But at that time, other train come earlier, and my train was just late, delaying. So I was very anxious. Yeah, if I missed the train. Also the train station doesn't have the gate. You don't need the ticket to go to the platform.
Right.
Is that usual for London?
It
地下
depends.
鉄はあるよね。
Central London, you need a ticket for every station, but the town I live in, you can just walk into the station. There's no barrier for tickets and stuff. So it just depends how busy it is, I think.
チューブは、
はい。
ゲート。
必ずありますよね。はい。
はい。Yeah,
But I think in Japan, all the station has gate. Even there's nobody, there's no staff from the train company. ですよね。
そうですね。
どんな田舎でもありますよね。
最近は田舎でもやっぱりゲートつきましたしね。
はい。
全部。
あ、また旅でびっくりした話があって。Yeah, I have another funny story when I went to travel to Miyazaki. Miyazaki is not small city, but a little bit far from the other cities. That is part of Kyushu.
Very south of Japan.
Yeah. And I was surprised the station doesn't have the チケットマシンでしたっけでいいんでしたっけToday, almost all the station has ticket machine. Yeah, but at Miyazaki, あれがいたんですよ。検察の人がいたんですよ。検察でしたっけカチって切る人がいて。大きい町なのに。そう、小さい町じゃないのに。
まだ手で切ってたんですか？
はい。あれはなんて言うんですか？
トレイン、なんて言うんでしょうね。
さすがに。
even in,いつですか、それは。最近。
いや、it was 何年前だろう、あれ。Maybe 7 years ago. Yeah, I heard they have ticket machine now. でもね、2018年とか19年とかに設置したって言ってたような気がしましたけど。
So, before 2018 or 17, there was no electric gates, so the cars were like, how do you say?
Oh, the hole punch.
Yeah, punching.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to have that. We don't really have it anymore. They check your tickets digitally now. So some people have tickets on their phone, so they'll scan their phone or just check the ticket. But yeah, we used to have, someone would make a hole in your ticket to say that it's been checked or something.
But I thought it's very rare because Miyazaki is quite a big city, but they doesn't have ticket machine.
Yeah, strange.
でもね、あれなんですよ。in Miyazaki, most people have a car because there's no so much なんだろう train network.
Right.
Yeah, in Miyazaki. でも、but Miyazaki is one of my favorite place in Japan because they have very good food.
I've never never been to Miyazaki, but everyone who's been there says that's a good
ね、
place.
鶏肉も牛肉も豚肉もブランドがあって、ブランドのやつがあって、鎖国されても野菜もいっぱい取れるし、海産物もいっぱい取れるし、鎖国されても宮崎は別に食い物に困らないって言ってました。
なるほど。So they can
If
get
it's southern Japan, it must be very warm there as well.
Yeah.
It's quite warm, yeah.
What are the sort of specialist foods of Miyazaki that you don't get anywhere else?
So he said they have their own like branded meat, like beef, pork.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they grow vegetables and good seafood.
So it's just really good quality, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think weather is good for this farming and growing.
あとマンゴーが有名です、マンゴーが。
Mango.
Really? They grow mangoes in Miyazaki?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's famous in Japan.
Are they quite expensive? Because I've always seen, the amount of money that some melons cost. If you're into you want to buy a honeydew melon or something, they're like
maybe this big is 2,000 yen. How much in?
That's like about £15 probably for a mango. Wow. I mean, we can go to a supermarket and get one for maybe £1 or something. I think we take that for granted. Like this. It's a bit of younger guts with his cape.
Yeah.
So are you doing it all with what type of nib is that? I see you're just using the edge of like the marker nib for thinner lines.
Yeah. I have to explain about it. Because this is the first time I do drawing with this in my live streaming.
Yeah.
I like this one. This is a Kuretake ZIG Calligraphy. And the ink is pigment. ピグメントだから、変色しない。The pigment ink will not to be change the color by sunlight. Before I found this one, I was using another type of the ink. Same pen, but other type of ink. なんて言うんですか。インクのね、種類がね、何インクなんだろうあれ。染料インクかな。染料インクってなんて言うんだろう。多分ね、普通の人が使う言葉じゃないからわからないと思う。わかんないかも。Yeah, I'm saying, it's not the word for ordinary people. I'm talking about the type of ink.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the other ink will be change the color by UV light. So sometimes I draw the sign for college. I'm conducting a live demo at college sometimes in Japan, and I do signing with that pen, and 2 or 3 years after I go back to the college, I saw the color was changed to brown. Yes, so I wonder if there is a pigment ink version of this pen, and I found this one. これはチップが2部がこんな感じ。
Yeah, it's interesting nib.
Yeah, the shape is rectangle.
Yeah.
Like this. And now I'm using only one corner
Yeah.
of the pen, so you can draw very fine and a little bit rusted. But if I use other corner, this one has very sharp line.
Yeah.
Can you see? This one is sharp. This one is a little bit rusty. Rusty で合ってます？ザラザラしてる。And you also can paint. And you also can draw broad line and brush stroke like line. And so when I sketching somebody, I make the shape of the head very quickly. Also, I think it's very good training. なんていうんだ、builds the contrast with black and white. Because the value is very important if you paint with color.
It looks quite difficult to use. I remember sort of the first time I used the brush, I was making so many mistakes and things, but you do get used to it over time. Oh, that's amazing. You just made that take shape instantly.
Yeah, I never felt the difficulty with using this, but if somebody asks me, I want to try this, and yeah, they try it and they say it's very difficult to use.
Yeah, I think it's just getting used to a new tool, isn't it? I think it would take me a few weeks to get used to using something like that. That's really nice.
Yeah, and this is one reason why I like the brush, paintbrush. I like this kind of paintbrush. You can see how I'm using this kind of paintbrush to painting even the small parts. You can see that in the video archive of the that our watercolor painting. The archive is you can find the archive on my channel.
Yeah, on your YouTube channel, all your older.
Yeah.
That brush is basically the same shape as the calligraphy pen you're using, so you can
Yes.
use the edge.
Yes.
The thin.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Also, the brush can contain a lot of water and pigment at once.
Yeah, of course, you get more in that big brush than you can with a small one. Yeah.
But if you use only the corner of the brush, you can keep painting or drawing more than longer from those kind of small round brushes.
Yeah. Oh, good tip for artists. Use the bigger brushes. Learn to use them.
で、このブラシはナムラっていう日本製のメーカーのブラシなんですよ。those brushes made by Japanese brush maker Namura. And I don't have so many brushes from them, but this time I bought 3 of that. And the quality was very good. なんて言うんだろう。すごくちゃんと作ってて、昔から日本画用の筆とかを作ってたメーカーらしいんですよ。
So the
The whole-
company used to or is making the brushes for Japanese, like traditional Japanese paintings. So they are
Calligraphy
the
and
quality-
things.
Yeah, yeah, also for calligraphy, Japanese painting and calligraphy. And で、この毛が、動物の毛の、この先に向かって細くなっていく感じを、ちゃんと選んで作られてるから、この先と根元の方で硬さが違うんですよ。先の方が適度な柔軟性があるんですよ。多分いろんな筆やってみないとわからないんだと思いますけど、すごい使いやすかったです。
So he found the softness or like the hardness of the brushes are very like great for his drawings.
Yeah, the softness and the softness of the fiber is different root and tip.
Oh, I see. So it thins out towards the tip or something?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it kind of
That-
shows in your work, like a lot of your watercolor pieces do sort of have a softness, like a quality to them, the texture of the paints, and I guess it's from using that brush. I mean, yeah, the
Well,
tools
that's
you
what I
use make a world of difference, don't they? Are
So
they
this
quite
time
expensive brushes?
yeah. I was surprised. It's not so much. 650.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7 pounds. Not bad. Yeah.
俺これ真ん中のやつは I think center one is 2,500 と思ってた。Yeah, I was misunderstood.
Yeah.
Maybe I bought similar but more bigger brush, and that was 2,500 yen.
Wow.
Yeah, but this one is surprisingly cheap.
Yeah, 9
こんな値段だと思わなかった。めっちゃ使いやすいですよ。
Yeah, it's a lesson. Don't always assume that the most expensive thing is the best. It's not always the case.
で、このブラシだと塗りつぶせるから、早く描きたいときにも結構便利だったりしますね。あと、塗るペンと書くペンを分けなくていいっていう。You don't need to change the pen when you paint and when you draw. You just change the angle.
Yeah. And that's what sort of like brush pens are like that. It's more that you change the pressure.
Yeah.
I haven't used a brush
Yeah.
pen in ages.
Yeah, also brush pen, I like brush pen too, but sometimes brush pen doesn't work. The ink is dried up.
Yeah,
In-
it'll dry
in
up,
the-
or sometimes
yeah,
it'll bleed.
Yeah,
And
only at the brush part. The ink is there, but the ink doesn't come out from the ink tank.
yeah.
That is very annoying.
Yeah, very annoying.
Yeah. Very early of my career, I used to using brush pen because before that I using pencil for draft drawing, base drawing. But if you scan the pencil drawing, the scanner it's very thin, 薄いですよね。
It won't like it. You have to adjust your settings a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, the dusts will be appeared. So I thought there's a solution to about it. So I found a brush pen and paper that is not easy to drain the ink. So the ink was put on the texture of the paper. So I can draw very pencil-like lines with brush pen. So I quit draft drawing, and directly draw with brush pen on the paper without base drawing. With that, I don't need erase the pencil. Also, I don't need tweak the level so much. So I don't need clean up the line drawing. Yeah, that's why I started using brush pen for my job. But sometimes the brush has a problem, like I mentioned before. There's a ink in the tank, but the tank doesn't come out from the brush. And at that time, I usually went to なんだろう、ファミリーレストラン。ファミリーレストランって英語だとファミリーレストランの。
レストラン、ファミレス、なんだろう。
Like a diner, isn't it?
Yeah.
Restaurants in Japan.
Yeah, but more a little bit more casual style restaurant. And at least before most family restaurant was operated 24 hours. And so I went family restaurant in the midnight, and I keep working until finish the work for that day. But sometimes the brush pen has that trouble. So I had 2 or 3 times when I went to family restaurant to do work, to draw, but the brush was dried, and I tried to make it work, but I couldn't. Sometimes if you push it too hard, the ink was come out too much.
Yeah, it just bleeds out everywhere.
Yeah. In that situation, I can't draw pencil-like drawing with brush pen. で、2、3回諦めたことがある。Yeah, so 2 or 3 times I gave up work for that day.
It's because of the pen.
Yeah.
They sort of dry out and the ink hardens on them, doesn't it? Sometimes I'll just take the cartridge out and wash it through, so all the ink is off the brush, and you've just got to brush again, and then put your ink cartridge back in. And
I've never tried that. Yeah,
I'll
try that. Yeah,
just ink hardens and goes dry. So if you sit looking at your page too long and you're holding the brush pen, it will just dry out in your hand. It's a problem.
Yeah, also I had an accident with brush pen. When I went to Miyazaki, I think I always having many of the drawing stuffs in my pocket.
Yeah.
At that time, I had a brush pen in my pocket, and that was bent during I'm sitting.
Oh.
Yeah, and the ink tank was broken. And when I slip in my hand to my pocket, I felt a strange smell.
He just came out with ink all over your hand.
Yeah. Also, that ink was stink. めちゃ臭かったね。いや、めちゃ臭いインクがポケットに覚えちゃったんで、いうことがありました。
ディザスターですね。
Is that why you always wear black trousers now, just in case the ink bursts? Then you don't ruin black trousers. But if you had like white jeans or something, you'd ruin them, wouldn't you?
Yeah, probably.
This is great. I see younger Guts before he got the white streak.
いや、ちょっと若くなっちゃった。I wasn't in it to make him young, but he looks young.
Yeah, he's a younger Guts. Well, he ages a lot through the series. I think it's probably only from the beginning of Berserk. Like when you first see him as the Black Swordsman to the most recent, it's probably only about 3 years in time. But Guts ages a lot because he has a lot of battles, and there's like a time when you see him on the boat and he's taken all his armor off. You know, he's got a missing arm and he's just got scars everywhere all over his body and the white streak through his hair. I think fighting demons every night makes you age at a very fast rate. Yeah, he does look a bit younger there.
I'm not still confident how to pronounce Berserk.
That was right, yeah, Berserk.
Berserk. Is that correct?
Yeah.
ねえ、まなみさんはベルセルクの発音がすごく不安で、いつも僕が。
How do you say that?
Berserk in English.
Berserk.
But it written like Berserk.
Berserk.
You can read it. It's on the PS2.
Yeah, in Japan, totally different. Berserk.
Berserk. I can't do it.
ね、ベルセルクだと絶対理解してもらえないもんね。
そうですよね。
Yeah, I think nobody can understand if I say ベルセルク。
No, I think you'll be alright.
But most people, even the people who living in, for example, United States for long years, don't know how to say it in correct way because that is not common word.
Well, yeah, of course, it's that the Japanese writing of an English word, isn't it? It's what would be the Japanese translation of the word berserk? You know, like, is there a Japanese word that's similar? It's like a high state of rage, isn't it?
ベルセルクの
訳
ベルセルク
日本語でなんて言うか
はい。
in Japanese, 強戦士、crazy soldier, crazy warrior,
Right, yeah.
強戦士。
なるほど。そうなんですね。
Yeah, it doesn't sound as cool as Berserk. I think he chose the right name.
Yeah. I think someone's asked about the pen in Japanese.
Oh yeah. You've got an awful lot of compliments. Got Sharka Frank says looks amazing. Abdul Ralph says Mr. Arita makes it look so easy. TAHK0, I don't know if I'm supposed to pronounce that differently, says you can change thickness so quickly. Yeah, you've got all your fans here today. Everyone's digging what you're doing.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, someone's asked if you are using German Faber-Castell in
Yeah, Faber-Castell. That is a very old maker. I think that is a pencil maker.
Yeah, I think they make all sorts of art supplies.
Yeah, I usually using, これファーマーカステルだよね。あ、違う、これはステッドラーだ。
Oh, Stedler, yeah.
Yeah, I'm heavily using Stedler, but I also using Faber-Castell. I also loving, なんだっけな。これ。this kind of, これは三菱だ。違うやつばっかり出てくる。なんだっけな。カリスマカラー
カリスマカラー。
カリスマカラーかダーマカラーかわかんないけど。
Charisma.
カリスマ
Okay.
カラ
I
ー。
don't know that.
カリスマカラーっていう。
へー
Now I'm talking about colored pencil. But I usually using Stedler.
うん。
And this one is Mars Lomograph black. And I also using Mars Lomograph. The difference with both of them is Mars Lomograph doesn't reflect the light so much like common pencil.
Yeah, most graphite will be quite.
Yeah, more than looks like graphite. The reflection is very annoying when you draw quite big piece of the pencil drawing.
Yeah.
You can't see how the image in correct because the reflection changes the light, value of the pencil. 明るく見えちゃって、絵の一部分だけが明るく見えちゃって、大きくなると光の当たり方が均一にならないから、だから反射しちゃって、もうしっかり塗った部分が明るく見えちゃったりとかすると、どこまでやったら完成なのか分かんなくなったりとかする場合があるんですよ。で、そういう時にこのグラファイトに近いやつを使うと反射が少ないから全体が見えやすいっていう。ただ消えにくくなるので、普通のこういうやつでだいたい描いてから塗りたいところをこういうので塗るみたいなことを。でもこっちの方はちょっと粒子が粗いです。ルモグラフの方が粒子がちょっと粗いです。っていうのを説明してあげてください。できれば。
そう、青い方がリフレクトするんですか？
そうです。
The blue pencil reflects the light, so even if he feels the color, it still looks very bright. So if he wants to make it like darker or use the stronger color, he used the black one. Then that doesn't reflect the light so much.
Yeah. Yeah, reflective graphite. I mean, pencil's already hard to scan, but if you're using those sort of shiny graphite, it just makes it impossible. The light of the scanner will just sort of give you a very weird scan, or even photographing it if you're trying to photograph under a light or something. This looks awesome. Very angry expression too.
今日は喋る方に集中したんで、絵の方はこんな感じで終わりにしようと思います。
素晴らしい。
Beautiful. Amazing piece.
できれば水彩を描きたかったんですけど、準備する時間がなくて。でも思ったよりもすんなりうまくいったんでよかったです。初めてだったんですけど。はい。初めてだったんですよ、この。
あ、そうなんですね。
なんだっけ。ね、オンラインミーティングしながらやるっていうの。
あ、なるほど。So it was his first time to have a group chat while drawing. So he was yeah, he was conscious about that, but he finished this great artwork.
That looks fantastic.
Mm.
It almost matches the one you did for me before. Let's see if we can get them
Yeah.
compared. Yeah, you've done the young one, and here's the older one.
Ah, yes.
Fantastic.
サインして終わりにしましょ
Pride and joy, that piece. Absolutely love it.
う。あ、
なんか、
21じゃんね。いいね。
that's so hectic.
It's all right. You just have to wait a year until you auction this piece. The date is wrong. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah, thank you. It's fun. Is there something you want to talk about more? あ、そうだ。I was dropped the story about the なんだろう。references for the designs of buildings in Berserk.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a bit more about that and about the like the CG models for all the army as well that you sort of supervised the design for those.
みんな笑ってる。Yeah, do you want to hear the story about the background of designs of the buildings in Berserk movie?
Yeah, I'd love to. I don't know if Manami has much time
Yeah.
left. Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can stay.
Excellent.
大丈夫ですか？
let's do it.
はい、大丈夫です。
ね、今からね、特に絵がない。特に絵を用意してないので、I couldn't prepare the images, but you can see most of the building that I will talk about from now in the, なんだっけ、trailer, in trailer of the movies of
Mhm.
Berserk, Golden Ages.
I think is there also a golden age like production art book that's available to buy? I think there is. That might
Yes.
feature some of your work in there. It's something I've
Ah.
been meaning to buy for a while.
Yeah, you can see most of the buildings that I will talk from now
Mm.
in the trailer of Berserk, the movie.
Go-
ね、there's a building called Dordrecht. Dordrecht is a fort.
Yeah, it's like the enemy's fort, isn't it?
Yeah, enemy's fort. And the exterior looks like this.
Mhm.
Here's a gate and many cannons and how to say that? Gun eyes? なんて言うんだろう、銃眼。
Yeah, oh, what do they call them? Like murder holes, I think people call them, because it's where the archers would shoot from. I actually have the Blu-ray here, and I think this is your design for Doldray. You can see
Yeah.
the logo, right? Oh, it's too
Yeah,
much.
can you show the first movie's package?
Yeah, I think the image I showed earlier. First
手が足りてない。あ、これね。
knocking things over. This one? If I take it out of the sleeve, you'll be able to see it better. I think it's Midland on.
Yeah. I drew this part, bottom part of the Midlands landscape.
It's even signed by you. This one, I remember I brought all my Blu-rays to be signed. So it's your drawing, but it's got your autograph over the top of it.
I made the composition for first one and the second one, and first one and the second one has the building that I designed.
Yeah.
And yeah, back to talk about the doldrey, and that is a fort, and that has a round part on the top and wall, and reference for the round part is なんだっけwhat was that?
Shall we call it? On the second Blu-ray that I have, they've just put the Berserk logo over the top of your artwork, so you can't really see. You can't really see the full. Yeah, sadly.
This part.
So it's like like the central.
Castle Sant'Angelo.
Right.
This was built by Emperor, I think. ローマ時代だっけか。
In Rome.
Yeah, Castle Sant'Angelo was built as a tomb of Hadriani. Roman road.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, and reformed time by time, and outside is influenced on Agra Fort.
Right.
Agra Fort. It is in India, and it was built in Mughal Empire.
Oh, I see.
ムガル帝国の要塞ですね。で、I also designed the pool of the 変態 king of that fort. あ、こんばんは。今、日本のお客さんが何名か来ました。で、今のドルドレイで、ミッドランドの話はさっきしましたけど、他に何書いたっけYeah. I also designed Midland Palace. That was similar with the palace in 19th, 17th century, like Versailles. I think you can remember the なんだっけ dance hall.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But the request from Miura-sensei was reproduct medieval age, more realistic, because at the early when Miura-sensei started working on Berserk manga, there was no Amazon or anything, so people can't reach the materials from Western. Yeah. So he didn't have good references for the background. Yeah. So we were worried about how we should do about the palace. that is obviously from the difference period. Yeah, but the atmosphere of the story required that set. So we decided use the reference from 16th, 17th centuries buildings.
And that's what he wanted, but he just didn't have the reference material when he first drew the manga, I suppose. Interesting.
で、 パレスとして書いたんですけど、especially I want to mention about the balcony in the garden. That was a place the Guts and Griffiths talking. Can you remember?
Yeah, when he decides to leave the Band of the Hawk, there's like the fountain and things, you mean? Or...
Yeah. And the place was appeared in trailer, and I drew the golden leaves behind them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the movie has a subtitle, The Golden Age, and I think
so, yeah, it was your idea to add the golden leaves.
Yeah, that scene was one of the turning point of the relation between Guts and Griffiths.
Things all get worse and worse from that point onwards.
Yeah, so I suggested to director to how use the golden leaves background of them. And I also designed the gate that the princess came out. I think the scene was right after the scene, the balcony. Was that? Yeah.
I'm trying to find it in the manga here.
Yeah.
I have found like
でね、なんだっけな。I designed iron made garden gate like you can see at the Versailles Palace. でね、そこでね、色を、色の話をそういう風にしたら、Yeah, I'm an illustrator, so I mentioned about the color like that. So the industry of animation, there's quite strict役割分けが divide of the role. So some people feel uncomfortable when I mentioned about colors of the set.
It wasn't your department. It wasn't your job.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good suggestion, though.
Yeah, nowadays, many of the CG movie was based on the class script. Yeah, so I thought that was natural way to suggest them how to なんだっけ演出するhow to play the scene.
Direct the scene.
Yeah, that's it. I also did Wholesome. Also I want to say mention about this. I was tweaked Griffith's helmet.
Right.
When I observed the 3D model. The shape of this part 見えてるのかな見えてるね。Yeah, the shape of this part was not cool, so I suggested them tweak a little bit more sharper.
Yeah, just make it look a little bit cooler on screen.
Yeah, but at that time, I thought I can quit this job right now. Yeah, because most iconic helmet in the story, I tweaked that. Yeah, so I thought that's right.
It's good that they were all welcome suggestions. You didn't get in trouble.
Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for coming, joining. ありがとうございます、まなみさん。
いえいえ、Thank you very much to both.
Yeah, thanks for your help.
ね、難しいんですよ。喋るのが。Yeah, yeah, it's very difficult to explain a little bit more, a little bit complicated story in English. But I hope most of you could understand my English explain. Yeah.
I think all the viewers enjoyed it. I think all the viewers have stayed throughout the whole thing, so.
いや、面白かった。楽しかったです。It was very fun. Thank you again, Dan.
Anytime. If you ever want me back, I'm
Yeah.
happy to come.
ね、まなみさん、この段の後ろの気合の入りようがすごいでしょ。
すごいですね。You know what your background done.
Yeah, I got all my Berserk stuff and made a shrine. Oh, and
Yeah,
something.
yeah, also he wearing
T-shirt I'm wearing.
Behelit t-shirt.
From Berserk, the screaming Behelit.
Is that your room?
Yeah, this is my bookshelves behind me, and I've just put all my Berserk stuff out. Yeah, just on my book. Just took all the stuff off my bookshelves and put Berserk stuff. There's a lot of manga behind all of these. Yeah, it's all manga. All these. Some JoJo's. I've got some Berserk down here, of course, and Hunter x Hunter, Yu Yu Hakusho, all my favorites. Crazy collection.
Can you buy manga easy in London?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's all published by American publishers, so yeah, we get it easily. I mean, Amazon.com exists as well, so you can find anything from anywhere in the world now. But
many people.
All of this is English language manga, so American publishers.
When this book was published, many people asked me, where can I buy? And some people were America, and America was covered by the network with なんだっけ、紀ノ国屋 that is Japanese bookstore.
No, I know.
Yeah, but some people in London was asking me where can I buy this, and I suggested them. I saw many manga store in London when I went to London, so maybe you can get yeah, like that place.
Yeah, I don't know. It's harder to find manga in Japanese in London. But you can. There's lots of comic shops that have English language manga. But you can also go to like Amazon.co.jp, and they'll ship to England if you really
want
a Japanese book. Yeah,
I use
them a lot of times. It can get quite expensive, but yeah, you can.
Yeah. But I heard that book was gone before the release date.
Right. Oh, wow.
At least, at least from Amazon Japan. そう、日本の Amazon は発売日にはもう売り切れてて、ですぐに増刷が決まったんですけど、the publisher was reprinted them.
Okay.
Yeah.
People could be able to find it now then.
Yeah. If you want to buy that now, I don't know. You can find on Amazon or not. At least I found that on Yodobashi camera online. that is one of the big company in Japan. But
the good thing with Amazon is if they don't have it, you can set up an email alert. So when it comes back in stock, you'll get an email.
あるのかなあ、お母さん、スーパーチャットありがとうございます。I think this is the first super chat.
Oh, you've got a super chat. Incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who is that from? I can't see it.
Amazon あるかなGive me a second. I'll check Amazon Japan.
And you can share the link here. I'm sure people will want to check it out.
So you normally buy manga online?
Yeah, or I'll go to Forbidden Planet in London because on some manga you can buy 3 for the price of 2. So when I need One Piece volumes, I'll go and buy them there. Or just, Amazon, anywhere I can get it. I think yesterday I bought a couple of mangas. One was from Amazon, one was from eBay. It's just wherever you can find it for sale, really.
Oh, I couldn't find that.
Or is it out of stock, or it's just not on the website?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, no. Well, it's a popular book. That's a good thing, I suppose.
Yeah. This book has my interview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I also did the cover illustration.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, this is my hand.
Yeah. I recognize it. Oh, is that Giga Pikachu? Very cool.
これね、
There you are.
6ページも載ってるんですよ。
すごいですね。He had 6 pages of interview.
Yeah, also the last page, I only talk about sketching.
Yeah, there's your famous pocket watercolor set. Yeah.
Also, you can see my
Yeah, the
sketch.
book showed us.
Yeah, at the museum.
Yeah, amazing. It's been immortalized in print.
I'm showing my sketching tool set in my pocket.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
そう、さっきさ、I mentioned before, we can't do sketching so easy in museum in Japan.
Japan.
But when I went to, どこあれは、多分どっちでもやったと思いますけど、when I went, British Museum and Louvre, I use black pencil to sketching, black colored pencil. And of course, I have to sharpen them sometimes. So each time I went at the corner of array and sharpen with a small cutter knife. カッターナイフはダメかなってさすがに思いましたけど、何も思わなかったんで。
Secretly.
I'm amazed how well you sharpen that nib. I would break that straight away. I press way too hard when I draw.
あ、これ
I think I'd just snap it straight away.
でも、鉛筆でスケッチするというか、鉛筆で描く人は、もっと長く削る人いますよ、このぐらいまで。全部シーンで。
Some people have it even longer.
I can't do that at all.
うん。そんなところかな。だいたい話すことは話した気がします。いや、すごい面白かったです。一人だとやっぱり喋ることがなくなっちゃって。
対話すると面白い。
そう、普段はもっと音楽を流したりとかしてるんですけど。
なるほど。
今日はたくさん話ができたんで、面白かったです。はい。
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
はい。私も楽しかったです。Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank
doing
you.
it.
Yeah, it was very, very fun to me. Usually I'm doing streaming alone, so sometimes I stop speaking and just painting or drawing. Yeah, but still that people say it's calm down to me.
Yeah, you should do this again.
Yeah.
I'm up for it anytime.
Yes. So keep in touch with me. Yes. Yeah, thank you for joining us. And last time I want to ask you, is there some question? 誰か質問がある人います
Don't think we have anything else in the chat. Just everyone says thank you a lot.
うん。
Yeah, just got lots of fans in the chat, loving what you do,
Mm-hmm.
as do I. Yeah, that was great.
Thank you, Abdul and Tanko. 大丈夫かな
大丈夫かな大丈夫みたい。大丈夫そうですね。
はい、大丈夫そうですね。はい。
はい
じゃあ、Yeah, so goodbye and see you next time. ありがとうございました。Thank you.
You
Goodbye.
too.
Bye bye.
はい。
And I'll play the ending music. 今のエン